Do not run paid ads if you do not have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses to literally throw in a trash can and set on fire. Why do I say that? The reason why is because in paid ads, and this especially goes for businesses that, this happens all the time. A business may have been relying on referrals and word of mouth for like literally 10 years, 10, 15 years. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, maybe they may have taken on some business debt, or they have all these other expenses and things are getting out of hand, but they need to get revenue and they need it fast, right? So they think that they can come to an agency, or they think that they can start running paid ads, and that it's just going to magically, you just hit a button and it's just going to magically have money falling out of the air and leads just raining down on your face. It doesn't always work like that, especially if you are a new business, because you don't even have any historical data of anything that works online. You don't have you never ran no emails, you never had no cold calling, you never did newspaper, you haven't done anything. All you've been relying on is this word of mouth and these referrals, and you have no historical data of what will work for your company specifically. So when you're doing that and then you're going into paid ads, there's going to be a testing phase. There's going to be a period of optimization. It's going to hurt. You're going to be spending money every single month, and you may not see a return in that month. It may just be a loss, right? And so I say that because no matter what an agency promises you, no matter what a freelancer promises you, they can't guarantee results. It's very hard. If they do guarantee results, it may just be that, hey, like the guarantee may be, we'll get you this amount of leads, or we'll get you this amount of revenue. Um, but if we don't, then you'll get your money back, and that's cool. I like those types of offers. But if an agency or whatever, whoever you're working with, just straight out says, hey, I'm gonna get you, 50 leads this month, you know, it's like, you can't. I don't see how you're possibly doing that. I mean, hey, if you figured it out, let me know. But it's very hard. So if you're a new business, just going on to, if you're just trying to start with Google ads and Facebook ads, be ready to spend three. I mean, I recommend you have a pessimistic mindset and say, hey, I need to make sure I have enough capital to light on fire for the next 6 months, 9 months in some cases. Like, I've heard of people not having anything dialed in to like 9 months. Never, it hasn't happened in my case, but um, be very pessimistic. I would just have a very pessimistic mindset going into this. I want to have 6 months worth of expenses to cover the cost of ad spend and the cost of the agency as well. So take that into account. So one thing I recommend is you actually understand your numbers before going into this. So if you know that, hey, things are not looking too great, um, I've been hearing about Google ads. That's wonderful. Joe Schmo down the street has been just raving about how his campaign is doing so good, blah blah blah. I want to start that now. My company, I'm in desperation. What I call it desperation mode. If a company is like, man, I need Google ads to save me, like, you're in desperation mode, and that's just the worst possible place you can be in if you want to start running um, any type of paid ads. So this is just an example of a profit and loss forecasting sheet. So you can see, like, from the month of January all the way to December. These are sample numbers, by the way. This is for an e-commerce account, but um, sample numbers. So but this is what I mean by saying understand your numbers. I want you to go into this amount of detail. I want you to understand your full net profit of the business, because if you know that, hey, in these, for the month, hey, for the next 3 months, we're going to be operating at a, who knows, 3% net profit. We're struggling. We got debt. We got this. It's the slow season. Blah blah blah. Whatever the reason may be, then do not take on, the advertising cost that puts you at a net loss, for if you know you can't even make payroll. Like, if you're like, man, I'm not even going to be able to make payroll for these next 2 3 months if this doesn't work out. If you know it's not, if that's the case, don't start with paid ads. There's so many other advertising channels that you can do that, hey, you might have to put in a little more sweat equity and a little more effort, but that's what you're going to have to do, because paid ads is going to be best for the companies that have already figured out the best offer and the best audience, right? So it's usually going to be one audience. It's going to be targeting one audience with one offer, and It's just if you know that it's been tested, battle tested throughout, maybe other channels online, and if it has worked out in person as well, that's usually a good start. But if you have literally no clue, if you're just like, hey, like I just been literally getting word of mouth and referrals for the past 10, 15 years. So I just wanted to start this paid ads because I heard that, my other business buddy down the street has been working for him. So I want to try it now too to save my business. And it's like that's the worst. That is the worst possible position you could be in to start this stuff. Um, so yeah, so I would say really look at your numbers, and I mean in detail. In detail, look at that net profit that you're going to be, you know, forecast the net profit for the next 6 to 9 months. And if you see that, hey, with this advertising expense and with this cost of the agency or the freelancer, I'm not going to be able to make payroll. I'm going to be in a very tough position. Then don't do it. There's so many other advertising channels that you can be utilizing. All right. And my next really big tip is before you actually get into paid advertising, understand paid advertising. Now, I understand as a business owner, you have other things that you need to do. You have the day-to-day things. But if you're going to be the one making the decision, then you need to understand what you're investing into, right? Warren Buffett says it best. Don't invest into what you don't understand. And I think this principle holds very true in paid advertising because unfortunately, our industry is very it's anyone in their mother's basement that has a laptop can start an agency. It's as simple as that. Literally, I can take a course online, uh, and then I can have an agency up the next day. I can create a landing page in literally 2 hours, have a website up, create some fake testimonials, copy a bunch of other advertising agencies, and then boom, now I got a full blown looking advertising agency, and I could come to you and I could literally just run off with your money when I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. And that's the state of the agency space. Like anyone can be an agency owner, anyone can manage ads. It's the barrier to entry is very, very low. So you as a business owner or whatever you're doing, you need to protect yourself. You can't you can't just blindly take the person's word for it because I mean literally someone in our space I think she said she said she was talking with a client and the client said the previous agency promised them 10,000 impressions and that impressions automatically lead to leads. Like 10,000 impressions would guarantee you 5 to 10 leads, right? And that's what the agency told the previous client. And if you know and you've been running paid ads, you know that's completely false. You can have a million impressions and none of those impressions can result in a lead, let alone a sale. It just doesn't work like that. An impression is just an eyeball. It's just someone viewed your ad, someone landed on the landing page. It doesn't translate into any revenue. So agencies can always promise you all these things. They'll promise you a certain amount of impressions and they may just send you reports where it's like, hey, look at all these impressions we got, look at all these clicks. And that doesn't matter because if you actually look at your revenue statements, if you look at how much revenue is coming in, you're going to see that you're operating at a net loss for your campaigns because all you're doing is you're just counting. Oh, I got a couple eyeballs. I got 1,000 eyeballs. I got 100 clicks to my website. It doesn't relate to anything. And so you really need to protect yourself. So you really need to just understand the basics of paid advertising, right? So just understand, okay, if I look at a Google Ads account, does this look right? Like is there like why is my Google Ads account search terms report looking like it's just a whole bucket full of irrelevant search terms? Like if you know that the advertiser is going to be putting you on Google Ads, hey, just understand the basic things such as like search terms. Just understand where your ads showing up. Who are the types of people that you're showing up in front of? That's like the most basic thing and they could just send you a search terms report. You can look at that and then you can see right off the bat, hey, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing because my search terms report for the past 30 days is just full of irrelevant terms. Now, of course, you're going to get irrelevant terms in the beginning, but I mean, to a certain degree, are they doing anything about it? Check the change history. You can go into Google Ads, you can go into Facebook ads, whatever advertising platform really, and check the change history. Are they even doing anything about it? So just have a real basic understanding of at least the interface of whatever platform that you're advertising on, and just some basic principles, such as like, just checking who am I showing up in front of? Who is the landing page, is the button broken? Like we haven't been getting leads and we haven't been getting any sales for 30 days. Was it you could check it out, like, all right, man, the landing page, the button doesn't even work. It may just be as simple as that. So I just recommend those two things: knowing your numbers truly, and actually knowing, can you afford this for the next 6 months? Like I said, if you don't have enough capital for the next 6 months to set on fire, literally set on fire. Imagine that the cash is in a tin, the homeless man tin can. Imagine it's in there and they just set it on fire. If you can't do that, I wouldn't recommend it. And then number two, if you are going to get into paid advertising, understand the basics of it so that you can protect yourself and not get scammed, because there are a lot of shady agencies out here and there's a lot of shady advertisers. So protect yourself. But that's all I have. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.